Have you ever sat down at dinner with a beautiful plate of grilled fish in front of you, thinking, now this has to be healthy, right? It's fish, lean protein, packed with omega-3s. Everything we've ever been told about healthy eating says, eat more fish, it's good for your heart. And for the most part, that's true. But what if I told you that some of the fish we think are helping us live longer might actually be doing the opposite? What if I said that certain types of fish, the kind you might find at the seafood counter, on restaurant menus, or even tucked away in your freezer, could be slowly harming your memory, your immune system, even your heart, not because they're inherently bad, but because of something hiding inside them: toxins, heavy metals, mercury. And here's the kicker: most people over 60 have no idea they're at higher risk. See, as we age, our bodies don't handle toxins the way they used to. The liver slows down. The kidneys work harder. Our immune systems aren't quite as sharp. That means things like mercury, which a younger person might flush out with ease, can build up in older adults quietly, slowly, and dangerously. And let me be honest here. We're not talking about eating fish every day. Maybe it's just once a week. A grilled fillet at Sunday lunch. A little something at a church potluck. Fish tacos at your favorite diner. But those little meals, they add up. Especially when your body is more vulnerable to what's inside them. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Because if you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, or if you're caring for someone who is, this could be life-changing information. Not everything labeled heart healthy actually is. And not all seafood is created equal. So in today's video, we're going to gently pull back the curtain. We'll look at 6 types of fish that older adults should seriously think twice about. Some of them you've probably eaten your whole life. Others are sold as premium, high-end options. But the truth behind them might surprise you. Before we dive into that list, I want to ask you something simple. Have you ever wondered why you've been feeling more tired lately? Or noticed a parent or grandparent starting to forget more? Losing focus? Feeling off balance? We often chalk it up to aging. But sometimes it's not just time. Sometimes it's what's on the plate. And that's why this conversation matters. Because when you understand the risks, you can make better choices, healthier swaps, and still enjoy the foods you love, without compromising your well-being. Stick with me. This might be one of the most important videos you watch this year. And if you care about your health, or someone else's, go ahead and drop a quick comment that says, "I'm here." Let me know this message is reaching the right hearts. And if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button. Because here at Elderly Wisdom Guide, we're all about giving you the knowledge you need to age with strength, grace, and clarity. Now, let's talk fish. And let's start with one that might already be sitting in your freezer. 1. King mackerel, the healthy fish that isn't. Let's start with one of the biggest offenders, king mackerel. Now I know what you might be thinking. Mackerel? That's supposed to be good for me, right? It's fish. It's lean. It's loaded with omega-3s. And for years, people have believed it's a heart-healthy choice. And in some cases, that's true. But not when it comes to king mackerel. Here's the problem. King mackerel is one of the highest mercury fish out there. And mercury isn't just a buzzword. It's a heavy metal. And once it's in your system, it stays. Especially if you're over 50. See, younger bodies can often detox more easily. But as we age, our liver and kidneys slow down. The toxins we use to flush out start lingering longer than they should. And that's when the real damage begins. Mercury doesn't just hang out in your bloodstream. It targets your brain, nervous system, memory, and coordination. Ever forget where you put your keys lately? Feel like your focus has been slipping? Or maybe your hands tremble when you hold your coffee mug in the morning? We often assume it's just part of aging. But in some cases, it could be what's on your plate. Now here's where it gets tricky. A lot of folks confuse king mackerel with Atlantic mackerel. They sound similar, but they're completely different. Atlantic mackerel is much safer. It's low in mercury and rich in nutrients. But king mackerel? That's a silent trap. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your dad or grandfather grilling on the back patio. Every Sunday, thick slices of king mackerel sizzling away. He swears by it, says it's the reason he's still sharp and strong. But over time, things start to change. He's more tired. He's forgetting names, missing appointments. You notice his hands shake when he buttons his shirt. You chalk it up to age. But what if the very food he thought was helping him was slowly breaking him down? The good news? You don't have to give up fish. There are safer, smarter swaps. Instead of king mackerel, reach for wild-caught salmon or sardines. They're still packed with omega-3s, but without the heavy metal baggage. And they're great for brain health, joint support, and yes, heart protection. This isn't about giving up your favorite meals. It's about making them work for you, not against you. Because at this stage in life, what we eat doesn't just fill us up, it builds our future. 2. Tilefish, the fancy fish with a hidden cost. Now, you might not even know you've eaten it. And that's part of the problem. Tilefish is one of those sneaky fish. It shows up on restaurant menus under vague names like catch of the day or white fish. It's often served with a lemon butter sauce, grilled to perfection, and plated like it came straight from a 5-star chef. It sounds innocent, doesn't it? But here's the truth. Tilefish, especially from the Gulf of Mexico, has the highest mercury content of nearly any fish in American waters. Yes, even higher than king mackerel. That means brain fog, balance issues, mood swings, and over time, early signs of memory loss or dementia-like symptoms. Now imagine this. It's your birthday. You're out celebrating at your favorite restaurant. You see white fish special on the menu and think, well, seafood's healthy, let's go for it. But what the menu doesn't say is that fish could be tilefish, and in your 60s or 70s, that choice could come with a heavy price. The scary part? It's often sold as a premium item. People think, it's expensive, it must be good for me. But expensive doesn't mean healthy, and in this case, it's quite the opposite. So what can you do? Ask. Always ask. When you're out to eat, don't be afraid to ask the waiter, what kind of whitefish is this? If they say tilefish, politely pass. If they don't know, don't guess. Choose something you recognize and trust. Cod and haddock are fantastic alternatives. They're light, flaky, gentle on the stomach, and far, far lower in mercury. They'll satisfy your seafood craving without putting your memory, your mood, or your mind at risk. Because let's be honest, when you're older, it's not just about avoiding illness. It's about preserving who you are. Your thoughts, your clarity, your stories. And what you eat plays a much bigger role in that than most people realize. 3. Swordfish. Elegant on the outside, dangerous on the inside. Let's talk about swordfish. It sounds fancy, doesn't it? It's the kind of dish you order on a cruise, at a celebration dinner, or that one night a year when you treat yourself to something a little more special. Thick, meaty, flavorful, it almost feels luxurious. And if you're like most people, you've probably thought, it's fish, so it must be healthy, right? But here's something most menus don't tell you. Swordfish is one of the most toxic fish you can eat, especially as we get older. Why? Because swordfish is a large, long-living predator. It sits at the top of the ocean's food chain. And what that means is simple. It spends years eating smaller fish that are already carrying mercury and other toxins, and storing all of that inside its own body. So by the time it reaches your plate, it's basically a toxic sponge in disguise. Now, let's clear something up. You can't cook mercury out of a fish. No matter how long you grill it, no matter how high the heat, mercury is a heavy metal. Once it's in the meat, it stays. And once it's in your body, especially in your 60s or beyond, it accumulates. Where does it go? To your nervous system, your kidneys, and most critically, your brain. That means more than just the occasional forgetfulness. We're talking about an increased risk of tremors, cognitive decline, nerve damage, and even heart problems. And for those already managing blood pressure, kidney stress, or memory issues, swordfish could be quietly making it all worse. Now, here's the thing that hits hard for many people. It doesn't feel dangerous. You might think, it's just once in a while, or I've always eaten it and I feel fine. But mercury doesn't make a loud entrance. It builds slowly, silently. And by the time the symptoms show up, the damage has often already been done. So what's the better option? If you love the richness of swordfish, try swapping it out for rainbow trout or pollock. Trout is buttery, satisfying, and far lower in toxins. Pollock is mild, easy to prepare, and budget-friendly too. Both are safer for your brain, easier on your kidneys, and much kinder to your long-term health. It's not about giving up flavor. It's about choosing the kind of flavor that keeps you sharp, steady, and strong. Because at this stage in life, health isn't just about what you feel today. It's about protecting the tomorrows that matter most. 4. Big A tuna. The sushi favorite with a hidden risk. Now let's talk about something you'll find at just about every sushi restaurant or seafood platter across the country. Big E tuna. It's sleek. It's trendy. It's that deep, rich red cut you see in your favorite sashimi or seared tuna steak. And these days, sushi nights aren't just for the young crowd. You've probably been to a dinner where your friends, or even your grandkids, suggested sushi. It feels light, fresh, even healthy. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Big E tuna is another high mercury fish. Just like swordfish, it lives long and sits high in the food chain. And the longer a fish lives, the more time it has to soak up mercury from everything it eats. But Big A tuna has an extra problem. We usually eat it raw. That means you're not just dealing with mercury. You're also taking in the risk of bacteria, parasites, and viruses that your body might not be equipped to fight off anymore. When you're younger, your immune system can usually handle the occasional bug. But after 50, even a mild infection like salmonella or listeria can linger, flare up, or turn serious fast. And if your immune system is already working overtime, managing medications, chronic conditions, or recovery from illness, raw tuna becomes a gamble you just don't want to take. Now, here's where people get confused. Not all tuna is the same. Big E and albacore tuna are the kinds you'll see at sushi counters and upscale restaurants. They're delicious, yes, but they carry higher mercury levels. The better option? Skipjack tuna, usually labeled as light tuna, in cans. It's cheaper, safer, lower in mercury, and much more forgiving on older bodies. And here's a tip. Always go for cooked over raw. A simple tuna salad sandwich or tuna casserole might just be your best friend. And if you're eating canned tuna more than twice a week, scale back. Even the safer types can add up over time if you're not paying attention. This isn't about eliminating joy. It's about choosing wisely so you can enjoy more moments, more meals, and more memories. 5. Farmed salmon. When healthy comes with a hidden price. Salmon. It's the poster child of heart-healthy eating. Doctors recommend it. Magazines rave about it. It's on every superfood list you can think of. And let's be honest, it tastes good. It's easy to cook. It feels like the safe protein to lean on, especially as we get older. But here's the thing no one wants to talk about. Not all salmon is created equal. And if you've been buying the bright pink fillets from the grocery store, especially when they're on sale, there's a high chance you've been buying farmed salmon. Now I know what you're thinking. Farmed salmon? Isn't that just salmon raised by people instead of caught wild? What's the big deal? Well, the deal is bigger than you might think. Farmed salmon are often raised in cramped underwater pens, packed together by the thousands. Because of these tight spaces, they're more vulnerable to disease, parasites, and stress. To keep that under control, the fish are routinely fed antibiotics, some of which are banned in other parts of the world. And the feed they're given? It's often made from low-grade fish meal, sometimes even contaminated with PCBs and dioxins, chemical compounds linked to cancer, hormonal imbalance, and inflammation. To make the meat look pink, because natural salmon flesh turns gray in captivity, they even add artificial coloring. That vibrant color you see at the counter? It's not always natural. And that health food you're eating might be a cocktail of chemicals your body doesn't need, especially in your 60s or 70s. And if you're already dealing with joint pain, autoimmune conditions, or heart concerns, those hidden toxins can stir up even more inflammation. Now I get it. Farm-raised salmon is cheaper, it's easier to find, and it's right there, looking beautiful in the seafood section. But ask yourself, what's the real cost? What's the price of more fatigue? Of more inflammation? Of subtle health declines that creep in, meal after meal? Here's the better path. Choose wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Yes, it costs a little more, but it's cleaner, higher in naturally occurring omega-3s, and raised in cold, pristine waters without all the chemical baggage. It's a small shift that delivers a massive return on your well-being, because food is more than flavor. It's your medicine. It's your daily investment into a stronger, sharper you. 6. Imported catfish. A familiar favorite with dangerous origins. Now let's talk about something a little more nostalgic. Catfish. For a lot of us, catfish is more than just food. It's comfort. It's tradition. It's Sunday dinners at grandma's house. It's backyard fish fries with the whole family. There's something deeply satisfying about a crispy golden fillet of catfish. It brings people together. It reminds us of where we come from. But here's the hard truth. If that catfish came from overseas, especially places like Southeast Asia, you may be getting more than you bargained for. Imported catfish are often raised in countries with very loose regulations, dirty water, unregulated feed. And the worst part? They're pumped full of antibiotics and chemicals just to survive in those conditions. Some of these antibiotics are banned here in the US. Why? Because they've been linked to antibiotic resistance, meaning your body might not respond well to medicines if you ever get sick. For older adults, this is no small risk. A foodborne illness or drug-resistant infection can lead to hospital stays, long recoveries, or far worse. And the scary thing? You might not even know the difference. Most packages at the grocery store won't say where the fish came from in bold letters. You have to look, you have to ask, and sometimes you have to walk away from the deal that seems too good to pass up. So what should you do? Stick with US farmed catfish. American fish farms follow far stricter safety standards. Cleaner water, better feed, and very limited antibiotic use. And no matter what kind of catfish you buy, cook it thoroughly. A well-cooked piece of fish is far safer, especially for aging digestive systems. Here's the takeaway. Comfort food should bring comfort, not danger. You can still enjoy your favorite meals, still share those family recipes, still gather around the table, just with a little more awareness, a little more intention, because these small food choices, they have the power to protect the people we love, starting with ourselves. 7. Orange roughy, the fish that's lived too long. Let's talk about a fish that looks completely harmless, even elegant on your plate. Orange roughy. You'll see it at fancy restaurants. It's often described as delicate, mild, buttery, the kind of fish that's served with a white wine sauce or lightly pan-seared at a special dinner. And to be honest, it tastes great. But beneath that soft, clean flavor is something you might not expect. A fish that could be quietly working against your long-term health. Here's why. Orange roughy lives a very, very long time. We're talking 100 years or more. That might sound fascinating, even majestic. But from a health standpoint, it's a problem. Because the longer a fish lives, the more toxins it accumulates from the environment. Things like mercury, PCBs, and heavy metals build up slowly over decades. Not just in the water, but in the food it eats, layer by layer, year after year. And by the time it ends up on your dinner plate, it's carrying a toxic load that can seriously harm your brain, your nervous system, and your heart, especially if you're over 60. Mercury exposure in older adults doesn't show up like a flashing red light. It creeps in. You forget a name here, lose your balance there. Suddenly your sleep is off, your mood changes, your joints ache more than usual. And you think, it's just age. But what if it's not? What if it's something as simple and fixable as choosing a different kind of fish? And here's the kicker. Orange roughy is often marketed as a healthy choice. It's low in fat. It's white meat. Doctors used to recommend it before we fully understood how toxic it can become over time. But now we do know. And knowing better means choosing better. So what's the safer option? Swap orange roughy for haddock, cod, or Alaskan pollock. These fish are shorter lived, meaning they don't have time to absorb the same levels of toxins. They're still mild and flaky, perfect for baking or grilling, and much safer for your body. Because at this stage in life, every bite should be building you up, not breaking you down. It's not about giving up the foods you love. It's about making the food you love you back. 8. Shark, the apex predator you should avoid. Now, let's talk about one last fish, and it's probably the most intimidating on the list. Shark. Now, I get it, you're not eating shark every day. It's not exactly showing up in your local deli case. But it does appear in restaurants, seafood markets, and especially in international cuisines. Some steakhouses even serve it as a novelty dish, bold, exotic, high protein. And people often think, hey, it's lean, it's seafood, why not give it a try? Here's why not. Shark is one of the most mercury-contaminated fish in the ocean. Period. Think about it. Sharks sit at the very top of the food chain. They live a long time. And they eat other fish, which eat other fish, which absorb toxins from the water and environment. All those toxins, mercury, PCBs, heavy metals they accumulate in the shark's body. And by the time you're cutting into that shark steak, you're eating decades of toxic buildup in a single serving. Now, for a 25-year-old with a strong liver and sharp immune system, maybe it doesn't hit right away. But for someone over 60, it's like pouring more weight onto an already tired system. Mercury, as we've learned, doesn't just affect memory. It impacts balance, coordination, focus, mood, and even cardiovascular health. For seniors already dealing with blood pressure, heart disease, or neurological changes, shark can quietly push things in the wrong direction. And let's not forget, it's not just about mercury. Because shark is often imported from countries with weak food safety oversight. So now you're mixing mercury and questionable handling. That's not a meal, that's a risk. So what should you do instead? If you're craving something meaty and satisfying, reach for wild-caught salmon, trout, or even mahi-mahi. They're lower in toxins, high in nutrients, and much gentler on aging bodies. And if you see shark on the menu, just smile, politely pass, and choose something that fuels your future instead. Because being strong isn't about taking unnecessary risks. It's about making informed choices. And knowing that real strength, real longevity comes from what you choose to keep off your plate. Choose smart, eat smart, live strong. Let's take a breath together. After everything we've covered today, all 8 fish, the risks, the safer swaps, there's one simple truth that rises to the top. You don't have to give up fish. You don't have to abandon the meals you love, the recipes you've passed down, or the traditions that make your dinner table feel like home. You just have to choose wisely. Because as we get older, it's not just about what we eat. It's about how it supports us. Does it give you energy? Does it protect your memory? Does it keep you steady, clear-headed, and strong? If the answer is yes, that's food worth eating. If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to rethink that bite. And here's the thing, you already know what to do now. You've got the knowledge. You've seen the science. You've heard the stories. And you know that little things like checking a label, asking your waiter what kind of fish is on the plate, or skipping that great deal in the frozen aisle, can make a big difference in the long run. These aren't huge, dramatic changes. They're small, thoughtful actions. And they add up. To clearer minds, to better sleep, to fewer hospital visits, to longer walks, deeper laughs, and sharper conversations with the people you love most. So tonight, when you open your fridge, or sit down at a restaurant, or help Mum with her grocery list, remember what you've learned here. You're not just eating dinner. You're shaping your health. You're honoring your future, because food is more than fuel. It's your daily act of self-care. Your way of saying, I'm not done yet. I'm still building the life I want to live. And if you found this helpful, if you've learned something today that might change even one meal in your week, do me a small favor. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below that says, I'm choosing smart. And share this video with someone you care about. Because this message doesn't stop here. And you're a part of Elderly Active Living. We share real talk, real science, and real tools for aging well every single week. So come with us. Let's get stronger. Let's get wiser. And let's take back control one bite at a time. You've got this. And we've got you. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.